I call Calvin Davis.
Mr Chair, earlier we heard Paul Quinn say that David Parker was talking gobbledygook. Now, how appropriate, Mr Chair, that Paul Quinn is the member that... there's no member in the House who is more qualified to recognise gobbledygook when he hears it. Paul Quinn's the member of the Māori Affairs Select Committee who takes 3.5 minutes to ask a question that requires a yes or no answer. In the course of that 3.5 minutes, he'll answer it 3 times himself, and then he'll still contradict himself.
Point of order, the Honourable Trevor Mallard.
I take the leave of the committee for all Act amendments on this part to be taken as one question.
Leave is sought for that. Is there any objection?
Yes, there is. Yes, there is.
Objection is taken. Any further speakers? Any calls? Oh, it was a point of order, was it?
Yes, it was.
Sorry, excuse me, I'll just clarify.
Point of order.
Point of order.
I'd like to express my disgust that that motion was moved as another Labor Member of Parliament asked me to leave the House to have a private discussion.
Order. That's not a point of order. I want to say that's not a point of order. I just want to say to the members, you're taking a call. Call Calvin Davis.
Thank you, Mr Chair. As I said, Paul Quinn, there's no better Member of Parliament qualified to recognise gobbledygook when he hears it. And the glazed and dazed and tired expressions on the faces of members of in the House aren't because they were up till midnight last night voting. It's because we're still trying to figure out the last question that Paul Quinn asked in the Māori Affairs Select Committee. So I just thank Mr Quinn for his contribution to the debate. It's been going 3 days, and that's the most intelligent comment he's made so far. But, Mr Chair, coming to the application for recognition orders, and this is about applying for recognition of customary rights. And the more I think about what a customary right is, the more irrelevant it seems to this whole bill, because there's very few examples of what a customary right is, other than the launching of waka and the collection of hangi stones. Now, where I come from up north, we collect hangi stones on the land. We actually don't go and collect hangi stones out at sea. I come from the Bay of Islands, where there's a lot of old volcanoes, and so a lot of scoria being blown out. And so we certainly don't actually need to go diving for hangi stones in order to collect them. And the launching of waka, well, launching of waka, where we take our boats out all the time every weekend, why is it that we'd need to go through the process of applying to be able to launch our boats? Going through a whole process that it takes time, it takes effort, it takes money, I would say, in order just to be able to launch our boats and to collect hangi stones if we wanted to go diving for them, which would certainly do away with the need for actually having lead weights on your diving belt. You just need to hold on to the hangi stones. So the process of going through the application is you have to come up with the contents of an application for customary rights. That in itself is a process that I'll go through. Then in the original bill it says registry for filing an application, although that's not in the supplementary order paper. Servicing the application, so an applicant group applying for a recognition order must serve the application on local authorities that have statutory functions in the area of the common marine and coastal area, any local authority that has statutory functions in the area adjacent to the area of the common marine and coastal area, and to the Solicitor General on behalf of the Attorney General. What is the Māori Party thinking, that they want to put our people through this, and I've only gone through half of the process, just in order to launch a waka or launch a 14-foot aluminium dinghy to go fishing? Because the next part of the process is to public notice of the application. This is clause 102. So the applicant group applying for a recognition order must give public notice of the application. and that must include, as a minimum, the name of the applicant group, its description as a hapu or iwi, a description of the application, a description of the particular area of the common marine and coastal area, an application for recognition of the protected customary right, a date that complies, the registry of the court. Look, this is just a nonsense process just so that hapu and iwi and applicant groups can go and get hangi stones that we could actually get on land and launch waka. And I just can't think of any other customary rights that you need it for. Now, last night I mentioned getting pippies and diving for scallops, and I've been corrected by my colleagues that that's all covered under the Fisheries Act, so we don't have to worry about that. So there's even less, Mr Chair.
Chris?
Should be now put.
Mr Chair.
Oh, no, I think I'll have Mr Kelvin Davis again.
Mr Chair. So the next part of the application is they have to write who may appear on an application for recognition order. Then there's the whole evidence and the burden of proof, which the burden of proof is. Sorry, I'll just find the page. In the case of the application for recognition of protected customary rights in a specified area of the common marine and coastal area, the applicant group must prove that the protected customary right has been exercised in the specific area and continues to be exercised by that group in the same area in accordance with tikanga. So the Māori Party is saying that that applicant groups, Māori iwi, hapu, whānau, they have to actually prove that they've been launching waka and collecting hangi stones in the area in accordance with tikanga. Why should they? My question to the Māori Party is why should applicant groups, why should our whānau have to prove that stuff and go through an application process to prove the customary right? To do what we just do anyway. So in my belief, it is a total nonsense. So going to the contents, just going back to clause 99, the contents of an application, they have to state whether it is an application for a recognition of a customary right or the customary title. If it is an application for recognition of a protected customary right, they have to describe the applicant group, identify the particular area. Why should Māori have to identify the particular area where they want to launch their waka from? Then state the grounds on which the application is made. Name a person to be the holder of the order. So they actually have to name someone who's holding an order for the whānau to go and launch a waka off a beach somewhere. It's a nonsense. Specify contact details for the group and for the person named to hold the order. So they have to name the contact details, everyone's phone numbers, email numbers, cell phone numbers, addresses for people who want to go and launch their wakas or gather their hangi stones out at sea. It has to be supported by an affidavit. So they actually have to make a statement backing up why they want to have this recognition, this right to go and collect their hangi stones. Mr Chair, I feel that this whole part for recognition of a customary right is a nonsense. I just don't see why Māori have to go through this whole process to draw up an application, to take it to court, to register it, to do whatever they have to do, just to ask for the right to do what we've always done anyway. And this is what the Māori Party has put our people through. The Māori Party sits there and say they're proud to put this burden of work for no reason onto our people. It's ridiculous. It's gobbledygook, actually, as Paul Quinn says. This is gobbledygook, it's nonsense, and there's Rahui Kātania who's actually standing up and justifying it when it's just absolutely ridiculous. And this is what the Māori Party, this is what our people marched for in 2004. And as I said last night, they weren't led on a hikoi, they've been led down the garden path. They've had the wool pulled over their eyes by the Māori Party that this is something good for us as a people. And it's just an absolute joke. It is a nonsense. To quote the learned member across the House there, this is gobbledygook. And I wait for him to stand up. Okay, excessive use of hyperbole, I agree there. But I wait for Paul Quinn to jump up on his feet to actually to take a call and contribute to this whole debate, because so far himself and the Honourable Tauhena there have basically been barrelling out, chastising everyone else who stands up to contribute. People on this side who have made rich and comprehensive calls on this whole bill, and they've sat over there and all they've done is throw bricks at everyone else who does stand up. Kia ora, Mr. Chair.